With me, the Secretary of State for Economic Affairs of Switzerland. Ma'am, welcome to WION. It has been a momentous day for India and the EFTA countries with the signing of the Trade Pact. Mr. also spoke about you as well, talking about your role as well. Essentially, if you can talk about the challenges you felt during the negotiations and how these challenges were overcome by the two sides.
I think people that are not familiar with what we do, Minister Goyal and I, you have to understand it's a people's business. So it's not only numbers and trade data. It's also important that you trust each other because, as I said, our goal was to get a balanced deal. And I think that was the greatest difficulty. You have on one side 1.4 billion people, a country that's really taking off, and then you have us in Switzerland, 9 million, total of EFTA 15 million, to really get that balance right and make it a fair and equitable deal. That has been a bit of a challenge. But I think once we realized that we can, that India is a young country and that you need jobs. And once I consulted with our business associations and they said we're more than willing to come to India, I think we really managed to create that balance. Then, it's a legal document, a free trade agreement. So I think at one point we're discussing to the comma what would be, of course, the correct text. So it's been very intensive, but I've always believed in it because we had developed this people-to-people relation of trust.
Mm-hmm. Ma'am, one of the key focus globally has been supply chain, the diversification of supply chains. How does this FTA helps in that for India especially, which is keen to diversify its supply chains?
So Swiss companies look for legal certainty. Of course, they're already present in India, but this free trade agreement will give a boost to that legal certainty. And they also, sort of like when they see that the Swiss government is banking on India. All of the Swiss companies, given the geopolitics, are looking at their supply chain. They're looking where to manufacture. You have to understand, we're a small country in size and population, but we're a large market. We're 20th largest market economy. So our home market is not enough for our investment. And we cannot manufacture everything we produce in Switzerland. So Swiss companies, after the pandemic and now with the new geopolitics, they are looking to diversify, they're looking for new places. So this TEPA, this Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement, really comes at the exact right moment because India is taking off and because of geopolitics and because of the fact that Swiss companies are trying to organize themselves differently.
Mm-hmm. My last question to you is, which sectors in India are going to benefit? We saw the minister talking about machinery sector. If you can talk about that and maybe ending on a soft note, will we be able to get Swiss chocolates here in India or Swiss cheese?
I start with the Swiss chocolate. Of course, I fought like a lioness to get the chocolate included. So I'm hopeful that you will get it and that it will be more affordable to get in India because indeed we have agreed on a position on chocolate, high-end chocolate as what we produce. So we have granted India, if you look at goods, we have granted India 99% access. So we're really open. And it's up to India to diversify and seek these opportunities in Switzerland. So that's from India to Switzerland. I would say Switzerland is truly open. If you surpass the 99% of what has been, traded in the past, and you have given access, Switzerland is open for Indian goods. India has granted us 95%, which is also good. And as indeed, I think it's in the area of machineries, and the high-tech machineries. Switzerland does not compete on price. We're not sending cheap anything to India. It's the high quality, it's the highly innovative machinery and precision instruments and so on that will come to India. And they will actually help to achieve India's goal to be that premier manufacturing and service hub of the world. I don't think, it's very complementary economy. We're also happy that we're getting good access on textile machinery. So Switzerland is not massively exporting textiles, but we have very high-end, excellent textile machineries. You talked about chocolate. There is another thing that we're famous for. We also managed to get good access for watches, which is important. And then, of course, we're a big life science hub, so we've also gotten some preferential treatment on life science products.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for speaking to WION, explaining us how it benefits India and common Indians as well. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My pleasure.
With video journalist Sidhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.